Hi mortgage coaches. This video is to show you how to customize your reinvestment strategies. So this is short of just setting a single payment that's going to go for the remaining life of the loan, whether it's going to be principal reduction or payments to a savings account, payments to investment vehicles. You actually have the ability to structure payment plans. So this is good for doing things like when MI drops off, you've got extra money that you want to show your borrower what they can do with that extra money. Maybe it's annual tax returns that you want to put into a savings account or an investment vehicle or something like that. It could be any number of reasons why you might want to start or stop payments to these investments accounts. But I'm going to show you how to do it. So normally when you want to just put in a payment that's going to go for the remaining life of the loan, you would simply just enter it here. And so in this situation, you can see I'm comparing a 10% down conventional versus an FHA 3.5% down. Now my conventional, it's actually saving me about $131 a month. So I'm going to take that money and just put it straight back into principal every month. And you can see by doing that, I've shaved my freedom point to 25.17 years. I've also shaved down my MI cutoff to 5.33 years. But remember, I've got MI dropping on this. So what if I want to customize this instead? Well, I know that for the first 5 years, I can do this 130.77, but after 5.33 years, I have additional money. I have $170 of MI that I can add on to this. So what I'm going to do to customize this is, you see that there's this little editor type of symbol here. When you click on that one, it actually opens up a table. So you can see for my first row at month one, I'm going to start off with 130.77 as my principal reduction payment. I'm going to add another line item. And 5.33 years, if we break open a calculator real quick and look at it, 5.33 times 12, that is about 64 months. So at month 64, I'm going to increase this payment from 130 to 300 because I have a $170 MI payment that's dropping off. And then that 300 is going to continue for the life of the loan. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit save here so you can see what it looks like. And then once you have saved that, you can see that your freedom point is now 22.17 years. So I shaved another 3 years off of it. You can also see that now I'm seeing a custom mark here instead of just a flat payment like I would normally. Now this custom, obviously, if you click on it, will bring open the table again and you can see what you've done here. Now another thing that you can do here is if you want to stop a payment. So let's say, for instance, your borrower has told you, hey, I'm retiring in 10 years. So at that point, every dollar that I have needs to go straight into my savings account or mattress money or whatever. What you can do is you can add an additional line item and you can say at month 120, I want zero going in. And then from there on, it's going to be zero contribution towards principal reduction. Now that will lengthen the freedom point just slightly because you're no longer making those payments after 120. But let's see what it looks like. So we hit save there, and you can see we're now up to 26.08 years. Still not too bad, but we've halted that payment at 120. Now, additionally, you can do this in any of these fields. So I did it as principal reduction, but you have the exact same ability to throw it into their savings account. So you can see in this case, remember he told me he wanted that $300 to go back into his savings account after 10 years. Well, I'm going to customize this guy too. And I'm going to say at month 120, I want that 300 to start going into a savings account. And then I want it to just continue for the remaining life of the loan, so I'm not going to put a stop line on here. If I did want this to stop, let's say at month 140 or something, I'd put 140 and then a zero amount to stop it. But in this case, I'm going to go ahead and save it. And you can see now I've structured a plan where for the first 5 years, it's going to be $130 principal reduction payment. Then after MI drops, it goes to $300 total principal reduction payment every month until the 10th year, at which point that extra 300 starts going into the savings account. And you can see that at 15 years, they got 25 grand in the bank. Now, the other thing I wanted to draw your attention to is you notice that it shows the start savings balance here. This is from the affordability section where we ask you what's the current savings account and what's the yield rate on it. Well, my borrower has $40,000 in the bank. He's going to be making a purchase. So what we do is we subtract out the cash to close, and that includes the down payment, and we give a new adjusted savings start, and that's going to continue growing at that rate. Now we've applied extra payments to it, but had we not applied payments to it, this would continue growing at a 0.5% increase over the course of the loan. So just keep this in mind. This is going to try and subtract the cash to close from your savings balance to give an adjusted savings start that you can continue forward after close. And you can see it makes a difference when you go into a lower down payment loan like an FHA, because we're bringing in less money to close, which means we have more money in that account to start with after our close. And that's going to continue growing. You can see at the 15-year point, we've got 27.8 in that account. Again, we could do the same kinds of strategies where we invest different types of sums in here. For instance, let's say on this one, we want to apply an annual tax return. So what I would do is open up our reinvestment, and we'll stay at month 12. Let's just say they're going to file exactly 12 months from now. They're going to get a tax return of 5 grand. Now, if we leave it just like this, it's going to assume that every month after month 12, it's going to be an additional 5 grand payment. Obviously, we don't want that happening. So we're going to add an additional line item for month 13 and call it 0. Now, if we want to do this every subsequent year, we can go out farther. So 24, at month 24, we're going to do another 5 grand. And then we'll add a line item for 25 and stop the payment. And we can continue doing this indefinitely. But when you do this, this is indicating that every 12 months I'm making a 5 grand payment from my tax refund and putting it straight into my savings account. And you can see that from doing that, my savings account has grown significantly over the 15-year point. Now, had I extended that out farther, obviously this would be even greater. But you have any number of things that you can do with this. You can start and stop payments anytime you want. If there's a lump sum or an annuity that's coming due, it's going to mature, and you've got cash coming in, you can specify that that money goes into any of these reinvestment vehicles at any point in the loan. My only word of caution for you is when you're customizing these, just make sure you stop the payments if you don't want them to continue. Like I said, this $5,000 payment at month 12, it would continue indefinitely unless I stop it at either the following month or whenever month I want to actually stop that payment. And you stop it by simply doing a 0 payment. So hopefully this helps. If you have any questions, contact our support team. We're always happy to help. Support@mortgagecoach.com. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.